All right, well, hello everyone. We are live with session 6 of Secrets of Alderland. We are gonna go ahead and get started here with the recap, and as you know, as normal, and then hop right in. But first, I do want to say, so last time I did let us level up, but I actually let us level up a little early. So it'll be a little longer this level. I'm just gonna warn you guys now. Because of the fact that we kind of went off the rails in a way I wasn't expecting, the the levels are going to be spaced out a little differently than I was expecting as well. So you got level 4 a tiny bit early. You're going to get level 5 a tiny bit late, not too much. It'll even out even out in the end though. Are you guys fine with that?
Run, boys.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
All right.
I died.
Yeah, that is the takeaway. But we will do a little recap. So we had started last session with the group just having, and they they popped out in what looked to be like this sort of like burial chamber, and actually wait, I think I have the map up. Maybe we can just go to that. Let's see. Yeah, so we went to this. The group found themselves in this sort of like, oh god, we have all these drawings and stuff on it. In this sort of tomb room, and that's where they were teleported into.
Oh shoot!
And they managed to fight off the couple goblins and a hobgoblin that were down here, but not before the goblin was able to ring the alarm bell, and alert the rest of the compound of what was going on down here. And there was also a hellhound there that the group didn't actually kill. In fact, it knocked down 2 members of the group. Oh wait, let me make sure the stream is.
One of them is knocked down twice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and so when the enemies arrived with about a dozen dudes, I believe, then they the bad guys actually sort of called out and basically said, like, you can surrender, or like, you should surrender, and the party negotiated real quickly on the spot, negotiated like, we will, if you call off the hound and revive our 2 friends, or stabilize our 2 friends, then we will cooperate. And so the dude agreed to this, this cloaked figure, and so the group was all brought back up, the 2 members that were down. But the group over the next little bit, they were essentially stripped of their weapons, and basically forced into shackles and brought to what essentially was outside of this burial room, which is inside of this mountain. There's a tiny little tunnel leading out to the surface, and immediately outside of this, there's like this building that the group was led to, and basically stuck in these sort of like prison cells. and it was in these prison cells where we had the unfortunate event of last session, where essentially the group was all being put into new shackles, or like shackled to the wall essentially, and Elwyn had previously been allowed to carry one of her books in her robes and wasn't forced to give it up. But when the bad guy here that was in the cloak, the one that was negotiating with them, when he told her that they would need to sort of like put her in the shackles, she refused to go into the shackles that were on the wall, and dove at the guy. Managed to dodge by 2 goblins that were sort of fitting her in the shackles, and shocking grasp him. I believe it was a shocking grasp.
Yeah, and rolled max damage.
Yeah, rolled max damage on the shocking grasp. Came in and went bam, and the guy got shocked. He was not dead though.
And then he shocked her.
He had actually part of what triggered that whole thing was that because she wasn't cooperating, he had looked like he was about to do something, and Elwyn took the initiative in that situation. But yeah, so he tanked the full damage, but then he continued to do what he had started to do and shot a lightning bolt through her, killing one of the goblins in the process. But yeah, he shot her, and unfortunately, I believe she was at like 4 health, 24 max, and he did 30 damage. if she had gotten the dex save, then she would have lived, or been
or if she
not
had a single
insta-killed.
first level spell slot left.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it was over. She didn't make the save and was instantly killed as a result. The dude turned around, and while walking out of the prison area, said, bring her body. We may still have use for her, which it was a pretty intense moment. Nox was the only one that saw it, but the rest of the group saw Elowin's body being dragged out, dead, and heard all this. And so, yeah, you guys found yourselves in these prison cells. Each of you had a partner in there. That was ended up being the townspeople, and one other person that Nox sort of talked to a little bit. So the group, they tried a couple things to try to break their own way out, including Ulf trying to pull the chain out of the wall. Kass managed to get his talon around into the lock, but wasn't able to pick the lock with just that means of doing so. And so the group was sort of stuck here. The next day, they actually heard. I believe it was in the morning of the next day that they heard Grizzles being brought in. They could hear him screaming, and they could tell that he has somehow made his way here as well. In fact, he was paraded in front of the group down the hallway that they were all stuck in, and sort of seemed like the bad guys were trying to make fun of the group almost for even having faith in Grizzles or anything. However, though, that night,
excuse me, I never had faith in Grizzles for anything ever.
That's true. That's true. So that evening, when the last light of the day was going down, then all of a sudden, lots of there were bells being rung and people running around, shouts ringing out. And one of the two guards that was watching all the time here, ran off, and you guys heard lots of these voices getting further away. At which point, the group actually figured, hey, this is our chance to try something. And so Kass, I believe, used some sort of illusion. I don't remember what it was exactly. Nox summoned her weapon and started banging on the chains as much as she could. And so the guard started freaking out, walking over and seeing what was going on, when an arrow came in and thudded right into his back. And it turned out that there was this elf here, actually, that had come along to release the crew. So he released everyone in the group, and he also helped the group release Alex and Layna, the two teenagers from the town, and his logic for not getting out all the prisoners so that the other ones would have we're gonna slow them down because they had been sort of sitting here. Their muscles were atrophied, and they didn't have much time. So the group rushed out, and as they were going though, to jump off the wall into these trees and get away, then they heard more screams of pain from Grizzles, and so three of the group, the remaining group members, everyone except Kass, went back and rescued Grizzles, sort of using a mixture of invisibility and darkness and stuff to sort of not even have to fight that much. There was a cool moment where Grizzles got a crit against one of the Drakelings and sort of jumped on it in his first time actually attacking on behalf of the group. And then sort of running away with Anna, and escaping with the group. And you guys got...
And they fell in love.
Yeah. You guys got some of your stuff back, too. I don't remember which stuff exactly.
Got a spear and my 2 swords.
Okay, yeah, that's right. And so the group managed to escape. So they climbed over the wall, jumped over the wall, and from the tower there on the corner of the compound. And the elf led the group for a good 15 minutes or so, running full speed away from here and stopping for a break, a little breather after a couple minutes on the way. because Layna and Alex were sort of tired and stuff, and I'm sure actually probably all you guys that were hadn't been moving too much that day. Anyways, so the group makes it to what is a campsite, and this is where we left off actually. Is that you guys have been led by this elf, and you're approaching this campsite, and as you guys are walking to this campsite, do you guys remember what I described to you? Because I want to remember exactly how I described it.
You said there is a campsite with 2 tents and a fire, and sitting at the fire is a human in full plate armor with blonde hair, green eyes, and a ragged face with an eagle on his shoulder.
Okay.
And he welcomed us, and that's what we...
Yeah. Yeah, so there is this so you guys walk into the camp. The elf sort of goes leads you guys in and sort of like gestures that you guys can walk into the campsite and steps aside. And there's this guy here like Jack just repeated, and he is dressed. He is sort of he's right in front of this campfire that's going on. It's a very small fire. It's mostly just like embers and stuff at this point. And he has these the eagle on his on his shoulder. And he does give you guys, as you guys walk in here, a bit of a smile. And he stands up. He was sort of like kneeling down, and he stands up to looks like greet you guys. He walks over, and do you guys, who goes to shake his hand, if anyone?
No.
No. Nox gives a suspicious look to the 2 of them and says, "All right, now that we're here, who are you? How did you know we were there? How did you know the others were there?"
He okay. Yeah, so he looks at you, and he says, "Calm down. Let's just take a minute. Here, I'm sure you're hungry and thirsty. Let's get you some stuff to eat and drink."
I demand an explanation.
And he kind of ignores you and motions to the elf dude, who starts to go and like rummage through. He goes and starts rummaging through like what looks to be like some sort of pack. And he says, "Come here, sit." And he motions to like the fire.
No.
Not a child. And I have food. They didn't take that from us.
They did take someone else from us, though.
Thank you very much for getting us out of there. But again, who are you? And how did you know we were there?
And so actually, right about this moment, as you guys are asking him this, right about this moment, someone else walks into the campsite from a different direction. And do you want to introduce yourself, Gregory? Gregory?
Boy.
He's muted.
Oh, there he is. He was a little Oh, hello.
And so you see the group, of course.
Dude, people's volumes are all over the place today.
Oh,
right?
Is there issues with volume?
Queens in Discord.
Sorry, one second. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not listening to the stream. Hell no.
So what did you say? Sorry.
I said, Rainbout, I'm here. Who are these people?
Okay. Didn't you? I'm just out of character. Didn't you see the
Yeah.
group?
I just ran a long way. You think I'm gonna remember what they look like?
Oh, okay. No, I got you. Yeah, you saw them from afar anyway. So no, yeah, you're right. I'm just making sure. That you remember that. All right. So yeah. So he says. He says, "Well, they're the people that we saw last night. But." And he turns to Nox.
A little bit worse for wear.
What? Sorry, what'd you say?
They look a little bit worse for wear.
Oh yeah. And he looks to Nox and he says, Well, now that we're all here, we can talk. I just wanted to... Wait a minute, I knew it wouldn't be long. In good time, I will answer all your questions, but first off, I want to know who you are as well. We helped you get out of there. Don't we deserve a little bit of information?
What? You guys pulled us out, and
As you can see, I'm a bird.
Why
Anything else?
are you... And he looks at you, and he's like... You're by the way, out of character. You're still wearing like monk clothes, right, or something that would notify that you're a monk.
Yeah.
So he'd be able to, okay, so he's like, you're a monk, are you not?
A bird first and a monk second.
I see. And actually, at this point, he like looks at the bird on his shoulder, the eagle, and he like whispers something to it, and it goes up and flies into the sky. And you guys can see it like start circling around above you guys.
I mean, I'll follow it.
You're gonna follow it?
I'm following it.
It kind of starts circling around.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be circling back.
Is he always like this?
As long as we've known him.
And here, I suppose I am losing my manners a little bit. Let me introduce myself. My name is Rhymebout, and I will spell that in chat. My name is Rhymebout. And this here is my squire, Richard, pointing to the elf. And and this here is my our new acquaintance, Miles. You had told him your real name, right? I don't remember.
I haven't told him my name, no.
I thought you did.
No.
Oh, he doesn't say that then. He says, "Here is our what had you told him? There was something."
Well, I told Rhymebout and Richard my name.
Yeah,
I haven't told the party my name.
No, yeah. That's what I mean. Rhymebout is saying your name to them, for better for worse. You know, he's like, and this here is Miles.
Miles?
Miles.
Miles.
Drag, while we're here, do you want to like describe your character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Miles has the obvious face of a nobleman. He has a look of optimism in them. His lips are spread into a grin, and his brown hair is messy, but it is obvious that some amount of care went into them. Here and on his back is a kite shield over a black cloak.
Okay. Sorry, I fixed that. The stream.
He's 6'2" and pretty scrawny, actually.
no, we're almost the same height.
So at this point, Nox says, "I'm Nox."
Nice to meet you, Nox. I'm glad to see you
Miles
safe
is
here.
going to extend out his hand toward you.
Yeah, she'll shake it.
Richard, when
His grip is honestly kind of puny.
I mean, so is hers. She's also like over a foot shorter, I think.
so
How tall did you say?
6'2".
Almost a full foot shorter.
Also, I was wrong. Miles doesn't have a strength of 8. He has a strength of 9.
nice.
Milk that extra 15
boy.
points of
Why-
carry weight.
Why would you do that?
So the by the way, so the last thing I'll say is so with Richard the elf, who by the way, like you guys can kind of tell that he is like based on the based on like the way he looks, you can tell he's a wood elf. So you'd be able to have enough general knowledge in this world to know that. Beyond that, you're not sure like where, but he is a wood elf. And Richard, he's been sort of just like hanging out by one of the tents or something, and just kind of hanging around the back and like looking around every once in a while. When Reinbout introduces him, he says, or he doesn't say anything. Rather, he actually just nods his head to all of you. But anyways, and then the Miles is introduced and they shake hands, and Knox. Does anyone else introduce themselves?
I'm going to begin digging through my bag.
Okay.
Anna's just kind of quietly staring at Miles. Kind of confused looking.
Where are my manners? Here. He pulls out a set of rations for everybody and hands them to you.
Anna just holds out her hand and motions at her backpack.
Yes.
So this is Reinbout speaking. So, if you don't mind my asking, what is an interesting group such as you all doing out here? What were you doing captive in some sort of monastery here?
Well, we weren't doing a whole lot of much. As Richard can attest to.
Yes, well, first off, I should say it wasn't Richard alone. It wouldn't have been possible if Miles here and I hadn't chopped out a bunch of trees and created bonfires on the other side of the compound. That's
sure, but you weren't in the prison cell to see us, were you?
No, yes.
That's all I was referring to.
Yes, you are correct. I just wanted to make sure that credit where credit is due. Miles it was a team effort.
Yeah, you got the same size dick as him. We all know.
You're in the size.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything, but
Oh yeah, I'm in the sky.
yeah. Well,
Just picture him slowly hovers down, says that, and hovers back up.
well,
Hey,
from the corner of the screen.
Gabriel, could you come down a bit? I wish to speak with you.
I'll come down.
You gonna give him the patented 1 foot at a time?
Also, you know what? Before we go any further, let me just say Grizzles has been. I forgot to mention what Grizzles is doing. He hasn't butted in or anything, but he is sort of just like cowering behind you guys, near the edge of the camp, and just like he doesn't look like he trusts anyone right now. But anyways,
Ungrateful piece of shit.
Hey man, he did more damage than us.
Just bad rolls last
yes,
week.
who we are.
so yeah, so let's see. What was the last thing that was said? You guys.
Greg asked the Avril to come down, actually.
It's
Get over here.
Okay.
You said you were a monk.
Yep.
I am currently looking for some monks. You wouldn't happen to know where a group of Davros monks were, would you?
I mean, I know where a whole group of them is.
no, those are different. He asked about Davros monks, not Caravi monks.
I mean,
You see,
it could be.
I heard Davriels.
no.
I just assumed that it was a little slip
A
up.
sect, yeah. No, Davros, which is that's the god of Earth, elemental god of
Okay.
Earth.
Would I know about this? You tell me.
You guys, I'm pretty sure haven't seen anything that would point to that. However, you were in a temple an abandoned temple of Davros. That's where like that whole thing where you got teleported down in.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really a monastery though. But still, it is related to the deity, so you know.
Like, would
See any
I know
symbols
about
when we
it?
were in that room?
I mean, you would know that we were going.
Yeah,
to that.
and you saw like that dead earth elemental thing or whatever. So, so there was
No,
that
I
as
mean,
well.
like from my background or anything. As being a
Oh
monk.
yeah. I mean, you guys would all know what like who Davros was, and like in general that there are monastic orders and temples and stuff. Yeah, no, that's general knowledge enough. So I would say.
Okay, that was the question.
Mm-hmm.
Because until now,
Yeah.
I did not know if I knew. No. I would not know where you could find a large group of
Very well.
Davros monk.
What's going-
You can go back to flying about if you wish.
So
Dismissed peasant.
and for right now, just assume if you hear me like use my in character voice, just assume that it's rhyme about. Richard is quiet.
Are there any rivers nearby?
Not like immediately nearby. Like there might be a tiny stream, a little
Okay.
ways away that you can like hear and see running up there.
I'm gonna go try to catch some fish.
So you're just not gonna like be there for the group meeting?
I'm hungry. Okay.
All right, you do you.
I passed up that meal in the prison.
All right, so
Don't we still have rations though?
you
I
he gave
we would have
drinks.
I don't know
I
if he
was,
did.
I was not
I
there
didn't
for
give
that.
Crowboy any rations
Oh,
because he wasn't
okay.
there.
Well,
No,
you
I'm
never like
okay.
lost your backpack, did you?
No, our bags were never taken.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah.
I let you guys like. They only took
Yeah.
your weapons and stuff. They didn't really.
But
get anything
also,
else.
I
Yeah.
have never had rations.
Right, that's what I
so-
figured.
Really?
Yeah, that's funny.
You just been chewing on the trees while you're flying around?
So
Well, no, you see, there's normally a place that we stay.
Yeah, we've been stopping in places.
yeah, so
Like, what was the game plan when we were in the temple? You just gonna bum a snack from us?
I mean, he was
You
gonna
know?
eat the kobold.
Oh wow.
It's possible that I'd scavenge for food.
Matt, were you gonna say something?
By whatever means
Mhm.
necessary.
So
What?
It sounded like
Oh.
talk.
I said that he was gonna eat the
Ah,
kobold, but then I remembered it's not a kobold. It's an avriel.
yeah,
Or whatever.
yeah.
Whatever meatwad is.
Oh, he's a kobold.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
he's a kobold.
Okay, so that's what
Well,
Cass
it's a
was
lot
gonna
of
eat.
meat.
Yeah, so
It's like that's
so
like a
let's see, what
40-pound
was-
creature.
So the Temple of the Monks. So
Two
Rhinemount, he will if none of you guys speak up, he will like wait and kind of like just start like
Well,
he sizes you guys up.
Nox, Nox had something to say. When Richard came into the prison, he seemed to know a great deal about us already. For example, which of us used shields and which of us used shorts.
Hmm.
I had suspected that you already knew who we were based on that.
We
So you'll forgive our suspicion.
we had seen you guys be brought to the building you were in, taken from underneath that mountain. We couldn't see beyond that. We were watching from above when it happened, from a cliff or an overlook point on a ridge. And since then, Richard here actually snuck around and tried to gather some intel. We had been working on this breakout plan actually for a few days now, because we knew that there were other prisoners in there, and when we saw that there were new prisoners being brought in, we realized that this was our chance and that this would be you guys. Richard has a good eye, and I've been around enough. We could tell that you had seen combat and could fend for yourselves at least a little bit.
If you saw us coming in, you must be still somewhere near where near the Temple of Davros.
Well, they saw us leaving the mountain and going into the building. I don't think they saw
So
us
you
going
No.
to the
guys
temple.
were
did they?
at a Temple of Davros.
No, he was saying that they saw you like when you were shackled and being taken outside. Yeah.
Karagox just said. Okay, that was a misunderstanding on my
Yeah,
part.
no.
Or a mishearing.
I
No
guess
problem.
that's the next question. Exactly
What?
where are we right now?
yeah.
We are in the mountains to the northwest of Riverdale and to the east of Snowfeld. And actually, I had a place on the map. Let me find. I will mark it on the map now.
Hey, you want to mark where we are and where that other temple was?
Yeah. So let's see. So the temple. Hold on. let me get their shirt. So you guys are let's see. The first I'll do the temple. The temple was like right over. I think I had put it like here somewhere. That was the temple that you guys went into, and the teleportation battle happened. It was more down that way.
Teleportation battle.
Teleportation
Bad.
battle.
Oh yeah.
The mark that is
I was
there.
very confused at the whole teleportation thing, but now I remember.
This mark is like where the monastery was originally. That area. It was upstream about a day's journey, and then a little. Actually, it was probably a little more inland. It was like you follow the river most of the way, and it kind of cut off. I don't know. It was like this way or right there, but roughly that area. You know, you get the idea. And then where you guys are currently, so from what it sounds like he's describing, you guys are somewhere like up here.
Where?
The red mark.
Oh, the red mark. Okay.
Yeah.
So we went from green to red.
Yeah.
We teleported through the mountain, guys.
Yeah, I mean that's just supposed to represent like a mountain range, you know. It's not just one mountain.
It's one big mountain.
It's one giant
head
mountain.
canon.
Yeah, no.
It's actually like
The mega mountain.
miles high.
Well, no.
So I
So
suppose
I'm
the
wild.
next question is, what brought you to this area in the first place?
and he.
How did you know these people were there?
That old wizard's not cheating on us, is he?
Well, as long as he paid us, I don't think it really
And
matters. that much.
he goes. He looks up and he says, "Old wizard."
Have you never heard of a wizard before?
What wizard is it? Would you mind sharing this wizard's name?
What was his nickname?
Sorry.
Theory.
Theory.
Yeah.
Barry. You're a wizard.
You're a wizard,
Barry.
Theory. Oh my god. How do we never think of that till now? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway, so he sort of asks. He's like, "Would you mind sharing it?" And he looks intrigued now.
Well, I suppose that depends. Who do you work for?
I don't work for anyone.
You clearly do not, Miles. You have a group of friends here.
So you're out in the woods hunting cultists of your own volition.
Yes, actually.
Miles, Miles, I won't speak for you, Miles, but let's just say that Richard and I came across Miles in a chance meeting and realized that we have common interests and have been working together since. That was maybe a week ago, not too long at all. So we still do not know each other super well, but we have sort of, out of necessity and sort of opportunity, we have been working together.
Well,
Like
we
I
are
was saying.
working mostly for pay, but we do have a job, and I'd rather not compromise it by accidentally giving information to the wrong people. So what are your common interests?
And Rainbow looks at Miles,
Well,
and he like,
there's no reason to hide it, really. I am a hunter. I hunt all manner of beasts.
and
So
as
like
for
bear
me-
and deer.
Not quite. More like demons, fey creatures, undead.
Interesting.
and
Like deer,
yeah,
bear.
and
I mean,
Rainbow.
if there are any demon deer or undead deer, I'm sure I can handle them, but
And Rainbow, he says, and Richard and I are, it's somewhat a bit more personal for us, but let's just say that we are adventurers in general, and we happen to be hunting down this cult, this order here, because we have an enemy there.
Zindarok is his name? Yeah.
That
But
was his
I'd say his name questioningly.
And he looks like his face doesn't change at all, but he just sits there quiet for a couple seconds. And then he turns around and is like facing away from you guys, and sort of just.
Run! It's a trap.
And he says, "Yes, that is
Oh yeah, Zindercook.
Oh.
I forgot about him.
That is who I am after.
We met him briefly.
Ah.
We got his name. Did we ever get the name of the dude that just like
Yeah,
obliterated Elwyn?
yeah, we did.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah,
what
that
it
was
though.
the dude's brother that was in the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least Knox would have gotten the name, I'm sure.
I could swear.
The
I
leader
don't
told
actually
us
know if you
his
guys got
name.
his.
I could swear we got his name.
We did
I
get his name.
remember.
Like, I don't think we got
I
the
remember
prisoner's last name, so we don't have a family name, I don't think.
Yeah, I remember Knox having a conversation with him, and him saying, "That's my brother, something the fearsome," or something like that.
No, that's Zinderok.
Or yeah.
The
Okay,
other guy was his brother.
Yeah.
You mentioned the resemblance. I'm not sure if the name actually came up then.
Maybe
Yeah.
it didn't.
I don't
I
think
thought-
it did actually.
I thought it
could've
came up
sworn
with.
it did.
There. Also, I know that the guy you got the name of the guy of his brother who was in the cell. His name
I
was
know.
Alec. Yeah. Which has also not been mentioned, but Knox knows.
No, I guess I didn't get it.
Interesting.
The more you don't know.
Anyway, yeah.
The less you know.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
the
that's
more
true.
you don't.
Anyway, yeah, Nox says, yeah, he called himself some ridiculous name like Zindrok the Scary or something.
And
Fucking Loon stuck something in his eye socket, too.
even though I'm laughing, he doesn't laugh at all. He just kind of like stays facing away.
Miles does laugh.
And but so then Reinbout he says like, I hope that. Tell me, was there anything odd about one of his eyes?
It was red.
Are you back?
I'm back. Yeah, I got some fish.
Oh, okay.
That's all I was doing.
Well, you know, it wasn't so much of an eye as some red glowing something.
Yeah, orb or whatever. Yeah. So it is true then.
What?
What
What
true?
is true?
Rimbout? Don't tell me you're one of his brothers as well. No, never mind. Scratch that. I keep forgetting that they're not the same person.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's the problem when we only have one name. and there's
The
two
main
bad
the main
guys.
difference is that one of them has the eye, one of them doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
No, I know.
You see, you can only be the big boss if you chop out an eye.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
replace it with red.
So
Yes, just the color.
he says, it is a complex situation in this that we find ourselves in. And he turns around to you guys again. He says, "Tell me, let us sit down. Let us relax a little bit and
Sure.
eat a little bit. I think we have some planning to do."
Certainly, we have a friend to retrieve.
A friend to retrieve.
Yes. Surely, if you spied us from out here, you noticed that one of us is missing.
And he looks over to Richard, and Richard Richard said he like speaks up and says, "Oh yes, there was an elf, wasn't there?"
Yes.
Yeah, was.
Damn fool.
And Reinbout says he's
I look at the hunter and say, "Not an elk."
so Reinbout looks down at the ground sort of and is like, and then looks back up and is like.
I just like the idea that you forgot Miles' name and you're just gonna call him the Hunter now.
So Reinbout looks back up at you and says, I had forgotten that I don't have nearly as good eyesight as Richard does. He's more trained in that way, so I rely on him a lot for that. But yes, no, that
Yes
you're
and
right.
no.
You are. I had forgotten that there was a fifth.
To be honest, I don't know if she's still alive. She looked in, well, bad shape would be putting it mildly the last time I saw her, but
If she was in bad shape and she's still in there, she's probably already gone.
you might be right, but
They said they needed her for something, along with the rest of us. So,
I'd rather not leave even a corpse to them.
What about him? And he points to. Oh, by the way, like Alex and Layna have probably just been like recovering, you know. I didn't really say.
I forgot to mention them, but I would have given them rations too.
Yeah, they're eating and like just like they're kind of like they might be listening, but they're probably not paying too close attention. They're just like happy to be out of there, you know.
still
anyways,
shell shocked.
Yeah. So Ryan out though he points at Grizzles and he says, what about him?
Oh, he's our newest companion.
We hadn't. I
You
didn't
have
know.
strange friends.
And when you say he's our newest companion, Grizzles, he gives you like a little bit of like a frown or like a angry look. He's like, "Arr."
What?
I mean, you could be all
You remember
pet.
what you did to that? What do we call them? Those
Drakelings, yeah.
You remember what you did to the Drakeling?
I'm still not on your side, 100%.
How many times now has Anna saved your life, you ungrateful twit?
Grizzles only looks out for himself.
If you only looked out for
I-
yourself, you'd still be. Well, let me backtrack. 'Cause it doesn't make any sense. If Anna hadn't saved you, you'd still be rotting in the dirt.
And he just like he doesn't have anything to say. He's like,
I spit on him.
You still he
So you're up in the air and you just like casually fly over.
the flop on him, yeah. He's
No, I'm back.
yeah.
Bird just
he like struggles, but then gives up because you weigh more than him.
No, he said spit, not sit.
Oh, I thought you said sit on him. Oh my god, I really heard. I heard sit. Oh my god.
I heard sit too.
Yeah.
No, that'd be entirely.
Yeah.
different.
No. So, but anyways, so you spit on him, and he goes like, "Yeah." And Rhymebot, Rhymebot is like, why bother saving such an evil and vile creature?
Well, I brought him back for
all manner of
information. and-
creatures have their uses.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Hello, Alexis. Lethal Lemur is also sick. So he says, and where, and so Rhymebot actually looks over to Richard and he says, Richard, was the kobold in the same area as the others? And Richard's like, no. And Rhymebot looks back to you guys and he says, and your friend, did he was not with your group when you were captured?
Well, have we mentioned that we teleported into that mountain?
You teleported there.
It's an interesting story, but the short version is that we did not teleport with the kobold, although we were traveling with him before that.
Huh. So they have some sort of teleportation.
Do I still have like the fragments of the stone? used?
We did have fragments. I don't know if we kept them.
No,
From the old one?
Fragments are with Thari, but
Oh, you mean from the one that you used?
yeah.
They like stay behind.
So we don't have any
So you don't-
stone.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's why
they
we
use
found. That's why we found the one that was broken up.
Yeah.
they use black stones that seem to be linked to key phrases.
Huh. And these can teleport them. That is quite interesting.
Yeah, as it turns out, it teleports anyone touching the user. Like all of us.
And
All of you, maybe.
So you all willingly went into the fray.
Look, I was just viewing some panties, and poof, there I was.
The rest of them kind of forced my hand.
I mean, I was trying to go in for the killing blow, but
I
didn't
was
work.
trying to prevent. Fuck. We never use your name, man.
Kass?
Kass. I was trying to save Kass's
Very
life,
important.
and it sort of happened.
And so that's why you were coming out of the mountain there, then. So wherever this teleportation
done?
leads to, wherever this teleportation leads to somewhere inside that mountain that we saw you guys come out
It
of.
looks like some sort of tomb, and
Tomb.
that tunnel that we came out of and the teleportation appeared to be the only entrance.
Where were you guys when you teleported from?
By the way you've described us, far closer to Snowfeld
What
than now. What are you doing?
Nothing. Ignore it.
The- hmm.
I'm fixing it. Okay.
Let's
Let's
So-
see if it could fit.
So he would look at you guys and say, about going back to Zindarok.
Ouch.
Why? Well, I guess how did you all get mixed up in this in the first place? Obviously, it's a direct conflict. You aren't just innocent bystanders.
Well, one of us mentioned an old wizard. He hired us.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes, the wizard.
Find a missing monastery.
Did you
And
find it?
We found where it used to be.
It had a lovely basement.
We found part of it, yeah.
And could
That's where we found this fellow, pointing at Grizzles.
And that monastery up there, do you think that is it?
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, what monastery?
The one that we just rescued you from.
Is that what that was?
Yes, the architecture. I've seen it in monasteries in the kingdom here before.
Alright, what I have.
Do monasteries not have fortifications?
You
Or
would
caverns?
have as well, probably.
Like, sure, the cave could have just been an open thing, but...
Perplex.
like,
But you also had your eyes closed when you were taken in originally. On the way out, you had seen it, though.
meditated the entire way. Well,
Definitely the entire time out of there?
Yeah, the way out you would have seen it, and recognized that it was a monastery.
It could be a monastery. The one that we were looking for was just removed. I don't really know how to explain it.
How does one remove a monastery?
It looked like they took a very sharp blade, cut it, and then brought it away.
That's concerning.
Slightly.
It could be some sort of magic used to move it.
Well, I would certainly hope it was magic.
maybe...
Yes,
maybe
that would-
Maybe
might
they
have.
used an extremely large black stone.
Maybe they're Egyptian.
Oh, they got you.
Maybe they're born with it.
Well, So, I suppose I should answer some questions that you have for me. I've been asking the questions. I
Yes.
will answer as much as I can.
You seemed concerned about, and you said, "So it's true." And we mentioned it was.
Yes, I had the reason I became involved with this is because I had heard some rumors about this order within the kingdom beginning to move and make its move in this part of the kingdom. And I had heard in particular that it dealt with this one set of relics, including a glowing red orb that I had heard of through contacts and friends of mine. And this sounds like this is it. So that the rumors I did hear were true then.
Relic, you say? So, you know what this red orb supposedly does, then?
I believe it's related to this figure the way that my friend who told me of this, my informant, the way he described it to me and Richard was that there was this guy, this historical figure named Dalrim, and that was supposedly that was one of his eyes.
Well, it just so happens that we also found ourselves investigating.
Oh god.
Who has the book?
Or
Or do we leave that behind too?
dude, I
Which
stopped keeping
book?
track of
I
that.
think it was left behind with Terrible.
The book that Alan got the order
Yeah.
from, that was left with Therival.
Yeah. Well, well then, excuse me. So you've run into this Dalrim stuff as well.
Yes.
Have you also heard? Do you know what the name of the order behind this is? Because while Dalrim is one thing, I believe we're messing with something else.
Well, yes, actually, I accused them of being the. But they're actually apparently the Auto of Skleravak. Skleravak?
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, he's like, that is the order that I'm after. Yes. So it seems we have some interest in common as well. and he looks at Richard and then looks at Miles as well. I suppose it's safe to tell you then that since you were clearly against the Order of Skleravak, that a few days ago when we had our chance meeting with Miles here, we had managed to both independently, Reinbout and Richard and I, and Miles independently, we found out that in the city of Riverdale, that there was a demon who had possessed a human there, and was using the guise of this using this human's household and stuff to help out these monks, those same monks that Miles mentioned, and those monks had been traveling through the area, and I actually didn't know about the monks until Miles and us had our run-in together against this demon, and we found out that this that the monks were coming to here, and that is what led us to this point. Me and Richard have been searching for at least a month and a half now, for a good while, searching for clues, and that was the first. This is the closest we've been, obviously.
Well, Kass, I suppose that might explain the blank faces of your comrades.
There were other monks in there.
I mean, you can call them monks.
So there were they monks of your order? Looking at Kass. Dressed as such?
They were dressed as such, yeah.
Well then, it seems to me that perhaps they do have some sort of demonic influence over them, or something.
Yes, if I recall correctly, they were calling Kass a heretic.
Perhaps it is. Although, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to be a demon for all of them. Miles, tell me, what did you hear about the monks that you were following?
There was one, and they seemed to be leading the others.
Interesting.
You know,
The monks were expressionless.
Yes.
if we could get to like an inn or something, somewhere where I'd have to pay money for food or anything, That's generally what summons somebody of my order or my monastery. You might be able to answer some questions.
How do they
the
know
people
that
of
there's
your
a debt incurred?
You know, I never asked.
So you're saying we should just go to the nearest town and rack up a tab?
Yeah, Saya should show up.
I
We
do.
corner him.
I do
Call
think
him a little
that. Well, I do think that before we leave this camp, even we should figure out what exactly our priorities are. Let's see. Did you overhear anything while you were in there? While you were prisoners?
I mean,
Anything useful? If not, that's fine. I'm not holding it against you by any stretch
Well,
of the imagination.
we were supposed to be live sacrifices because of being magic users. That
speak for
helps.
yourself.
So
We don't know for sure that. Suppose it can't be ruled out.
So you're all magic users.
For the
Uh,
most
They seem
part.
to think so. I don't know if they had any
They
proof of that.
certainly seem to think. I wouldn't call myself a magic user.
Well, the person who told me about Dalrim and this stuff, even though it was just rumors, they did say something about needing sacrifices. Maybe that could be it. I don't know. I don't know why they would need magic users to sacrifice, but
I tried to get Zindrok to tell us his plan, but he wasn't very forthcoming, unfortunately.
yes, well, it doesn't seem
I
like
mean, did you
him
expect
do
him
that.
to be?
I'd hoped. He had us in prison, after all. There wasn't much that it seemed we could do.
I don't know. I feel like he was rather hospitable. He didn't kill any of us compared to
He
his
didn't.
underling.
I mean,
But if it
I
is
think-
true that
I
he
think he
needed to
was planning.
sacrifice you, then he couldn't kill you then, I'm assuming.
Didn't stop the other one.
it
Yes,
is very true. It did not stop the other one.
that is a fair point, and I am sorry for the loss of your friend again, but
No, no need to be sorry.
so none of you really overheard anything. And at this point, while you guys are hesitating, Grizzles, he hesitantly raises his hand and says, I heard some stuff.
What? When they were beating the shit out of you?
When they weren't,
I hold back my spit for now.
So this is what I mean.
Hog and a loogie.
This is what I mean. You guys didn't even ask what happened to me after you teleported away.
Have you ever considered that maybe the world does not revolve around you?
But it does, though, right? After you guys teleported, I heard all the fighting and peeked around the corner, but then when you guys were teleported, I didn't know what to do. So I kind of just tried to rummage around, and eventually I started to, after a couple hours, I started trying to go towards the way we came in to leave. But on the way, the other group of my kin, they caught me. And,
Weren't they goblins?
no, the goblins are the ones.
Oh yeah, we
you
fought
guys
the
had.
goblins. Yeah. So it was the.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, my kin, they caught me and started torturing me pretty much immediately. But they had with them this one woman who had a cloak on.
So descriptive.
She had darker skin, more olive skin tone, She was definitely human.
It's more than what I saw when I saw them earlier.
Well, I was up close to her, and she and she seemed to be leading them, and they decided that I heard them talking, and they said that they should bring me back and torture me, make sure I hadn't helped you guys too much. So they actually went back past where you guys had fought, towards the further down the hallway. There was this big room. For a couple hours, the women worked on what looked to be some sort of puzzle, and then the wall, part of the wall, slided away. Inside there was some stuff. I didn't really get to see exactly what it was, but there was some stuff, and then we teleported back, and that's, I think, when you guys heard me being tortured more. But beyond that, when in the moments when they weren't torturing me, then I heard them talking, and they said that I don't know what it means, but they said there's only one piece left. And also, I think that I might have seen this eye before.
Zindarock's eye?
Yeah, but what color did you say it was?
Red? Yeah, it was red when we saw it.
Yeah.
But, because from what you described, it sounds almost like this one glowing orb, like an eye that my master has, but that one glows blue.
How large is this other eye?
Just about as much as you would expect a glass eyeball or tiny orb to be. In fact,
I look at what's his face?
Rainbow?
Rainbow. See, does this sound familiar to you?
And he thinks, he's like, I'm not sure. I just know that this Dalrim, whatever, I know the eye wasn't the only thing with him. There was more to it, but all I remember is that the red eye was the one thing that I was told of. That it was glowing red orb of light.
I look at Grizzles. Do you know anything about this blue orb?
Yeah, the Drake, my lord, my master, he's had it a little while now, and he covets it. He always carries it around with him. In fact, he started carrying it around in one of his claws more since the goblins showed up for the first time. So I don't know.
It must be connected if they're working together.
But and there was one last thing. When I was asleep, then I heard when I was trying to sleep during the day after being tortured, trying to rest, then I heard them talking about how apparently pretty soon, in a day or two, they're going to leave and go to a different shrine or something. Some place where apparently that's where the last piece of whatever it is was. and they said the words I heard were the words I heard were, and I'm gonna go out of character. He said like that's where we'll find the last fragment and the Might Stone. And I don't know what either of those really mean, but I heard them describe roughly where it is. It was that woman again, the cloaked one. She was talking with them, and they were talking about how to get here to wherever this relic is. They said that it was to the south, and that we'd see a big waterfall, and that would be how we know where to go.
I would.
Does that ring any bells?
Would
to
I
you,
know
Joe?
anything about this Might Stone that I could roll insight on, or possibly roll insight on?
No, I don't think you would have any knowledge of this, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that seem to be the extent of what Grizzles was saying?
Also, could I roll insight to see if he lied at all?
Yeah,
Because he's
sure.
a little shit.
Yeah, you can see if he's.
I just want to
lying
roll
this.
something.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't know. Never mind.
He, yeah, as far as
Buffy
you can tell,
still
he's
has the
telling
hacks on.
truth. Yeah, as far as you can tell, he seems to be telling the truth.
It's a very elaborate lie if he's lying.
And
I've heard worse.
and and so he says all this, and he sort of says I just at this point I just want to, and he sort of looks down at his feet. He's like, I don't care for you all, but I really just want to kill my kin.
You and me both.
And when I'm done with that, then I can figure out what I'm doing. But for right now, that's all I want to do. And if it means working with you guys, then I guess it has to be.
Anna will hold her out her hand. Well, partners then.
And he like begrudgingly looks at you, and like it takes a good like 10 seconds as he's just staring there, and then he slowly reaches out his hand and shakes it.
By the way, are you still injured from what they were doing to you earlier?
I don't know if it's anything that could be fixed easily.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So it's kind of dark.
And he pulls up his shirt, if they have a shirt, or like part of it, the rags that cover him, and you see actually there's like there seems to be like burn marks on him, like an iron what's it called, the brand was on him.
So I'm assuming the wounds are still healing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on him then.
Okay. All right, sounds good. And he gives you like an appreciative look at that.
I'm assuming he's still got marks because I don't think Cure Wounds is enough to really get rid of scars.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna have some
I think
scars
it's greater. I think it's greater cure wounds.
There.
Or something.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I know
It doesn't matter at this
I know
point,
really
but
high
it's-
tier magic does just straight up get rid of scars.
Yeah. So he
Restoration.
let's see. So
I
he
think
says
restorations just get rid of statuses. I can't remember though.
So after he says all this and sort of like talks about what he heard, then Reinbow just kind of like looks around at you guys. He's like,
Does a big waterfall to the south, geographically?
what?
A big waterfall to the south, does that sound familiar at all?
Oh,
No, I'm asking you.
Me?
Poetry.
Yeah.
Yes, for my character.
I mean, yeah. Like, there's like lots of valleys and stuff in this area, so there certainly could be one. Yeah.
Okay.
So no.
So there's no well-known waterfalls that
There's not like
us local boys would be like, yes, it's totally that.
There's not like a famous one. No, not in that, not to the south. But there are plenty of waterfalls in that direction and stuff, going deeper into the mountains.
Just gonna have to check behind all of them.
Yep.
But so Rainbow kind of looks around at you guys and he says, "Well, that's a lot of information that I don't necessarily know how to place in the context of this whole thing. But what are our options here? What do we need to do? We obviously all parties want to get to the bottom of the order of Skleravrak or Dalrim, whatever they call themselves. We know that they have some alliance with these kobolds, your kin, pointing at Grizzles. We've seen these goblins patrolling, and they have demons as allies, apparently.
Well, I suppose we should go speak with that wizard they mentioned.
Where
Might
is
have
this?
pertinent information.
Where is this wizard?
Snowfeld.
Snowfeld. Okay.
Is Therival not well known since he's like the wizard that works for?
He works for the Duke. So
He's the noble's wizard for the area.
Yeah. He's probably decently.
So they're either unfamiliar with the local nobility or just assumed he's a random dude, I guess.
And so
He is kind of a lower nobility's wizard, though.
not
and
really.
so
Well, to the Baron.
To the Duke.
to the Duke. Yeah.
Oh, to the Duke.
Yeah.
I thought he was only
So-
to like the Baron.
No, he's the Duke's personal wizard or court wizard, whatever. So the so Rainbow, he says, well, this kobold says that he overheard that they were saying something about some fragments, whatever that may mean, and that they need only one more. They're looking for the last one.
Well, it certainly sounds like whatever these are probably related.
Yes, and my thinking personally is that for one, we just don't have a lot of information right now about what exactly are we dealing with here. We know of Zendarok. We know that there is the Order. They're looking for stuff related to this Dalrim, but we don't know what these fragments are, what this Might Stone is. If it is the last one and they are looking for it, then perhaps it would be a good idea to try to beat them to it. On the other hand, there is this kobold's kin that he speaks of with such hatred. The Drake, this Drake that he speaks of, also has something that seems to be related. So
Well, it sounds like a bigger priority to stop them from getting what they don't have already.
yes, that
The goblins, these demon-possessed monks, the kobolds are all working together. We can consider that blue in their possession.
yes, that's
Plus,
fair.
I'm not exactly eager to fight a Drake.
Yes, fair point. But I suppose the other thing that we'll need to figure out is what sort of numbers we're dealing with exactly here. With all this being said, it seems like we're up against a small, not an army-sized force, but maybe maybe 100 enemies if you include everything. I'm not sure. We've seen quite a few when we were looking over the compound down there, down from above, and there's at least a couple score.
Well, they won't all be in the same place.
Yes, and that is good, but I'll tell you what. I do think that I do have connections that I might be able to use. I might be able to find us some help, some mercenaries or troops or whatever. I'm not sure. But I might be able to do that. And I'd at least be doing a lot more than we are doing right now. And that could be good. But I do think we need to prioritize on stopping our enemies somehow from reaching whatever it is they're looking for.
Yes, we don't want to waste any time, especially if we hope to get the remaining prisoners out alive.
So, I don't mean to be rude, but what is it you lot do?
Me?
Well,
you're talking to them.
I play music in taverns mainly.
I do that as well, although in my spare time I like to hunt goblins to the...
I used to be a fighter. Until...
Alright, so one of you is going to be useful.
Well, I mean...
Box rolls her eyes.
After I finished being a fighter, I was a sheep herder, so... I mean...
He was also in a fish.
That's what he'll tell you anyway.
What?
Yes, I was in a fish. It was a very large fish. And, I mean, that's kind of how I got to here.
I'm gonna make an insight check.
Alright.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean,
20.
yeah, it seems
I mean, I'm telling the truth.
he is telling the truth. As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
You're a really good liar, you know that?
I mean, I'm not lying. I went Australian there.
Yeah, he's not a lion. You need to get the hunt out of your mind, bud.
By the way, Miles,
Yes?
are you from the capital? I know of a Miles from there.
No.
Insight check.
I say, looking for deception.
I mean, you're not from the capital.
I mean, my family was originally from the
Oh,
capital.
okay, yeah, that's true.
Oh god, this
All right,
is...
so you need an insight that beats 11. Yeah.
You suspect that he might not be telling the full truth.
I just eyeball him and let it drop for now.
Are you sure you're not from the capital?
Pretty
You're
sure.
you're fancy dressed for people out here.
Fancy dressed, what are you talking about?
He's actually wearing normal
I'm
clothes.
wearing
he just,
commoner's clothes.
He's a handsome boy.
He does have
air
a
of
nice
nobility
face.
to him.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't have anything
Clean
like super
shaves.
distinct.
He wears the
I mean-
yellow on his
Long
face, not his
hair.
body.
I mean, heck, like Rhinebout also kind of has like a sort of like a regal look.
Right about
but,
is better
Rhinebout-
dressed than me. 'cause he's wearing
Ironically, I
really
think I'm
expensive
the
armor.
I think I'm the only one wearing nobleman's clothes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably Anna and Rhymebout are the most well dressed because she's got good clothes on and he's got 750 gold worth of metal on his body.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
He has armor so expensive that you actually have to like either have fallen into money somehow or be nobility to maintain.
Explain Miles's appearance again, because
Alright.
I clearly didn't catch it.
So, my face is obviously that of nobility.
Yeah.
So, I'm
inbred.
wearing commoner's clothes underneath scale mail.
Okay. Got a pretty face. Face.
pretty face.
Face.
A pretty face.
Not interested.
I'm not interested either.
Have
What?
you been drinking piss again?
I should have been.
What?
I feel like I should be.
Oh, okay, so there are none of you that are useful.
So,
I mean, I fight for my god. So, you know.
If you really think that, have Kass punch you in the face a couple of times.
All right.
let's
it!
not get into a fight here. We have more important.
I-
We're not
things
getting
to
into a fight.
I will punch him in the face a couple times.
Couple is 2. I mean, do they hit? Yeah.
You willingly
Are
let
you
me
dodging?
punch you.
No, I'm not dodging.
That's-
I mean, you did damage.
yeah, you hurt him a bit.
Your monk die is only 1d4.
Don't
It
you
might
get
have gone
like?
up this level,
don't-
actually.
Also, don't you get like a mod on top of the D4?
Yeah, plus strength.
Dex or
Yeah,
Or
plus
plus
dex. So those
dex, if
are
you want.
+4.
Ooh.
Alright.
Shit.
Ouch.
So five.
And
Jesus.
6.
So you take
Uh,
11
yeah.
damage.
So
Yeah.
11
Oh,
points
my.
of damage, right?
It goes
right
up
like
to a
that.
d6 next level.
Ah, okay.
So
So a
you did the
D4.
equivalent of breaking his jaw.
So
It was only 11 damage. It's only a third of my health.
To your face. Just your face.
Rybot is like, come on now, that's enough. Listen, we have business.
I'm going to give Kass a wide grin and say, happy to meet you, and extend my hand out toward him.
I
Bleeding
extend
profusely.
whatever is protruding from the right side of my body
and then spit on it. And spit on it.
because I'm still not sure what it is.
It's not that hard. It's like
It's a
He's still in the
Yes.
self-discovery phase of his life.
we already went over this. It's like exactly like is on the picture.
I'm still
or whatever.
unsure.
Like
He's
there's
still
a wrist
exploring his
part.
own body. He's young.
It's not like a claw that protrudes directly from them. It's like there's a hand there. There's like a wrist and stuff. Anyways, no. So Ryan about he says to you all, what me and Richard, I think that we can go and look for allies that can help us against the compound up there if we need to storm it, if it comes to that. Although it'd be much better to draw their attention away and use some matter of stealth or subterfuge. But what is it that you all think you should do? I don't want to make the decision for you all. You're the ones who will be putting your lives on the line, more
Well,
so than us.
I'd very much like to see this whole place burnt to the ground.
I would like to get my gear back so I could give Richard his sword back.
we've got a oh god, my voice is just breaking up here. We've got a. I promised those other prisoners that we'd pull them out, that we'd be back for them. So we need to get back in there and save them.
Do you really think?
And we should probably.
You see, Orc, this is why you don't make promises you cannot keep.
That's brutal.
I plan to keep my promises.
Do you, Orc? I can tell that you are very passionate about this, and that's just the sort of energy we need, sort of the motivation that we need if we're going to win this fight.
Is this a job interview?
But
Yep.
but
I
at the
won.
same time, do you think that Zindarok is going to let us waltz right back in? He's going to, after we have escaped with you all, we helped you escape. He's going to quadruple the guard and be sure to have more people watching the prisoners themselves. If there is something about magic users in particular that makes them important, and he lost 2 of his magic users and the new prisoners, you all, then he's going to be pissed. And no. It's not an advisable idea in any case. I don't think that we can, if you want to try, you can try, but for one thing, they're probably going to be, at this point, having patrols out and about. I wouldn't be surprised. And
Well, let me ask you all: are any of you good at sneaking around?
Richard here is the one among us that sneaks around. I don't know about Miles.
I'm afraid my armor not only would clink around too much, but I'm not the sneaking type.
Because stealth is a viable option. I have my way around getting past people.
We do also have the option of possibly recruiting the Duke's army, but that might take a little bit longer than we need.
What do you mean?
Out of character, does the Duke actually have a proper army, or would that consist of that militia?
Well, that was the
training?
Baron.
Yeah, that was Snowfeld's militia.
Oh yeah, it was just the local guy. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, we
is that-
can even get Snowfelds.
Get a bunch of angry farmers.
Hey, better than a lot of things.
I have a question for you all that relates to that you just asked me. What? Do you and our enemies, you've fought a couple times by now, correct?
More than just a couple.
So they know of your existence.
Well,
I mean, they only know us from the one fight.
What I mean is, I would suspect, if I put myself in Zindarok's shoes, and he kind of shudders at the thought, I would suspect that I would want to know what's going on in the area.
Why would you wear his shoes? You have the same
Yes.
size feet or something?
Yes. But my point is, he probably, if you were to go to the Baron or the Duke or whoever, he would probably find out and plan accordingly. I don't know what that would entail.
How do you know so much about Zen?
Sorry, you cut out there.
How do you know so much about Zendarok and what he's capable?
I don't know how, but you actually, for me, managed to cut out again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Same,
I
even
think
though
it's
it
like
was
a
Like, did you
light
go
thing.
over your noise gate?
How do you
Are you
know?
like either going over or under?
How do you know so much about Zendarok and?
Yeah, no, I heard you.
Okay.
Yeah, enough. So he looks at you and he says, like, I'd really rather not talk about it, but let's just say that I've dealt with him before.
So then you know him personally.
You could say so, yes.
Do you have any idea as to his motivations in all of this, then?
Yes, I do.
What are they then?
I think he just wants to hurt as many people as he can.
That's it.
So what's he need
That's his
magic users
whole-
for?
Motivation in life is just to hurt people.
I couldn't. And he looks like a little scatterbrain. Like he's kind of like trying. It looks like he's trying to keep it together.
He was having Vietnam flashbacks.
Kinda like that's what it looks like, at least. He looks very troubled by this whole line of questioning. It's visible on his face, and he's been pretty composed this whole time. You know. What was the last thing you said, Matt? Sorry.
I said, what does he need people with magic for? Or why would he need people with magic? Or something like that.
Well, that's what I'm assuming, and it has to do something with the Dalrim thing, whatever that may be. I know just about as much as you do with that in that regard. But And he just kind of like he sort of like puts his hands on his like under his chin and just sort of like is staring into like the embers of the fire and just thinking.
Look, if you know something that wheat out, you really need to share it with us. Because we've got... How many people are in jail? 3 people?
4 people.
That we left-
All right, yeah, 3 people. You're right. You're right.
3 people we
got-
left behind?
Yep.
In the prison anyways?
Yep. That is correct.
Look, because we've got 4 people we've got to pull out still. And holding anything back from us is almost almost just no, what's the words I'm looking for? It's
Maybe you're trying to say
It-
it's helping him?
yeah, something like that. I'm
Yeah.
trying to say something like that.
I got
It's helping him and it's actually hurting us.
All right.
I was trying to think of a way of saying like it's showing a weakness in
Yeah.
us.
Do
Or
you
it
want
shows a
to
weakness for us.
do you want to roll a persuasion check for me? Because that's a persuading line of reasoning, I think, more so than intimidation or anything. So, oh,
Yeah.
wow, nice. All right, so so yeah, so you you say this to him and sort of say, you know, like you're helping him by doing this sort of, and so then he looks up at you and he says, all right, I do know that there's more to it than just that. It's not just wanting to cause chaos. I didn't say everything, but he's looking for revenge. Personal revenge. That's his real motivation. In fact, I think he would like other people to believe that he wants to cause chaos in the world, cause death and pain. But it's really just the pain of one person that he really wants. And that one person is his father, the Duke.
But you're going to have to be a little bit more specific.
The Duke of Felling.
Hold on. Okay. What?
Yeah, we're gonna need to unpack this for a second.
He's like, yes, the Duke of Felling is Zindarok's father.
Did that wizard seriously not have any inkling that this was happening?
I don't have anything in my notes about him having children.
Let's see. I guess I could tell you that he
He is the Duke's son.
the Duke had 4 kids actually. Excuse me. And they were all male, all sons.
Any of them like go missing or die?
Yeah, as a noble woman, would I have like known?
As a
About
noble
this-
man, would I know?
Alright, let's see. So
Someone who grew up in the city
Yeah,
where that
yeah,
person would have lived?
that's fair.
And there was a
Um,
whole like internal conflict happening that would raise attention to this region.
So let's see.
I haven't been a noble for a little while, but unless Zindarok is like 2 years old, I think I would have heard about him.
the real big thing is how old again are all your characters? Let's see. So
27.
27.
20 something.
25.
22.
22.
22. What month?
I didn't think about it.
Uh,
But probably like late August.
Okay.
I only turned 22.
I'm not the
like,
youngest
a
anymore.
month or 2 ago.
So Knox would so Jack, I think in the handout or whatever that I had for you talks a little bit about
Talks about his wife dying.
yeah, that's right. So around that same time, let me see. Let me get to that part in your handout actually. So at that same point in time, he used to walk around with his with with his wife and him, and sometimes like one or two of his sons would also be with them in these like these like processions in the street. But that was a while ago, you know, and then that stopped pretty much after the Duke's wife died. Then that pretty much stopped completely, and the Duke is, after that point, the Duke was rarely seen outside of like the keep at all, you know. And there was like, I guess the thing is that his sons weren't really ever too prominent on the scene necessarily. In fact, that's why like normally it wasn't.
I'd assume the heir apparent would be though.
Well, yeah. So like, I guess part of it is that it wasn't, all of that stuff wasn't really like too publicized, you know. So I don't think Nox wouldn't definitely not know all like the ins and outs, but there certainly like wasn't any civil war or anything during that time period, or any like.
Wasn't there literally a civil war though?
Well, yeah, no, that's the kingdom-wide civil war. I mean, in the Duchy or whatever. There wasn't any like succession crisis or anything.
I mean, the Duke didn't die, so.
Yeah. So the what I mean is like you don't remember hearing anything. You wouldn't remember,
I can't remember
anything about
what like faction during that did Fellington fall into?
He was so this is, I guess this would not be as common. Well, it would be common enough, but it was, the Duke was sort of like neutral, but then kind of forced into the war against his will.
They were.
But and so that'd be pretty common knowledge, but no, there was you don't remember hearing anything about like one of his sons having any issues with him or anything really. And around I think that the thing is like, so when Nox was younger, so like 27 now, yeah, so when you were probably like 12 or 13 is really when the one or two like sons of the Duke that would normally be with him in those processions that happen a couple times a year, they started, like, they were older at that point and started not doing that. They were off on their own business and stuff. They weren't really on the scene too much at that point in time. But yeah, and then let's see, what was it? So then Anna, so then Kragash, you were wondering, so you would probably not really have any in-depth knowledge of the situation there, because it's, you know, it's on the opposite side of the kingdom. It was when you're like 22, right, or something, like 23, 25. Okay, so I guess you would have been starting to get more involved, but that certainly
I would just know that there were sons over there.
Yeah,
more or less then.
Yeah, and but it would probably, I don't think that it wouldn't be like all the news or anything. And
not that one of them literally turned into the Joker.
Basically. And then Dragery, your character, being younger as well, also would not have really been in the same sort of like age range or whatever. Well, because did I just forget to you guys how old the Zindarat guy seemed when you guys saw him?
If you did, I wasn't listening because I was dead.
Yeah, so I guess I kind of he he is, well, he's pretty, like, he looked pretty young, but he still looked like at least like he was in like his early 30s or so. And so he was at least a little bit older than Nox and Anna.
Well, so one of the Duke's sons is running around destroying the world, and the Duke doesn't know about it or isn't doing anything to stop it.
I suspect that the Duke might not know, or might be occupied with other things. After all, if it was a wizard that hired you guys, it wasn't even the Baron or anything.
Well, it was the Duke's wizard.
It was. Is this wizard's name Therival by any chance?
We told you that. Are you all right?
Oh yeah, I thought you guys didn't tell him that.
No.
I'm pretty sure you guys didn't.
We did.
They
so.
definitely did.
No, I thought it was.
We said Therival is his name, and you said, "Who is that?"
Oh, okay.
To be fair, we
Wait,
did immediately start joking about his name.
Yeah, I thought
So,
that was out of character.
We broke the in-character conversation after.
I actually didn't realize that was in character. Okay. Well, so then, I don't know. So I guess he would, he'd be. Also, yeah, no. I guess this. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I thought that was. I did not. Realize.
He's just real shook still.
Yeah, he just realized that what you said, but no.
I persuaded him so good that he's dazed and confused.
So good.
So you've been working with for the Duke's wizard then,
Yeah, but from what we were told, it was just a matter of missing persons, not a familial dispute or cultists.
Interesting. Well, I suppose it.
So,
could
What are we
always
getting
be-
paid for this, by the way?
what did the Duke do to drive his son to this?
Well, he. Do you? I would have thought that at least that would be knowledge to wider circles, but I suppose the Duke has covered it up pretty well. Zindarok, after his mother died, Zindarok killed his one of his brothers.
Ah, so that's why that man in prison called him McKinsey.
A man in the prison called him the Kinslayer. Interesting. That yes, that is in some places, some circles, he is known as such.
That's quite the story to keep hidden from everyone on the Duke's part.
Well, that's the thing, is that the Duke was so ashamed of this and so angered. He considered. Rumor has it that he considered killing his own son, or executing him, not killing him personally, but having him killed. But instead he had him banished, essentially, and tried to erase any signs that he had ever existed out of shame.
That didn't work out.
Yes, in fact, I have a theory, and this is where I suppose this is where my real connection comes in. With the Order, I think they're the ones that have helped him escape from banishment or exile or whatever, and have brought him back.
So you know who the Order is, huh?
I have been hunting them. Mostly, well, I came across this rather recently. But I have known of the Order, yes.
Well, do you have any idea what this waterfall to the south could mean?
I mean, I haven't really traveled to the south of here too much, but it could be a puzzle, or it could literally be a waterfall. I'm not sure.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
But I do think that is our best bet at this point, is just pursue that lead until if we hit a dead end, we'll figure out what to do after that. But I do believe that it'd be best if me and Richard were to go and I try to find some of my contacts, some of my friends who can help
Sure.
us.
And in the meantime, I suppose the rest of us will just walk south.
What do we do about those two? Pointing at Alex and Layna?
Layna, yeah. And one of them will like so Layna will probably she'll sort of like pipe up and say like something along the lines of like that if she and Alex can be brought a little closer to like the town, then they can like make it the last little bit. However, Rhinebout will say like he says like, well, we can't just leave them in the town where they might get targeted again.
Where would you suggest we leave them?
Well, we don't really.
Can't very well come with us.
I suppose they could come with us. We shouldn't be engaging in any heavy combat or anything that me and Richard wouldn't be able to handle. Hopefully, we're trying to keep a low profile after all. But if they were to come with us, that could be fine. And as for you all, you're going to be tracking off to the south. But I think that Miles should go with you all. He's a hunter after all. Maybe he'll be able to find some clues if there are demons involved. And
Are you sure he can handle walking around with so many useless people?
and even Rhinebout, he just
Well, you are musicians. I'm sure you can entertain me.
It's actually like doubly funny because right now Nox doesn't have any actual real weapons.
Yeah.
I
Hers
like the
was taken
fact,
from her. All she has is a shield.
unless Miles is being partially sarcastic, I literally did cast healing magic, and I guess he just did not notice.
He is being like a good 20% sarcastic.
Yeah.
It will be noted that I'm not going to be healing his fucking smash in the face.
But yes, Miles, would you mind going with them, or is that fine? I think it'd be good for
No, I suppose they do need protection.
Yes, and beyond that, it would look a little. I think it would be harder to hide the presence of a hunter such as yourself, whereas these common folk, pointing to Layna and Alex, they can blend in well enough wherever we might be going. But you would probably draw a little more attention.
If you're heading to a town before us, would you mind getting word to Thervol for us?
Yes. What would you like me to tell him from you all?
Well, I suppose you should probably tell him that Elowen might be dead.
Ah, was he close to her?
She seemed to think so.
I see. Well, I will do so, and yes. And how is Elowen spelled? Anyway, you don't have to say that, but he's
What?
Because he doesn't know how it's spelled.
Write
He
it how
doesn't
it
need
sounds.
to write it down. He just needs to pass out the message.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it has two ends.
to the
in it. How
best,
would he know that?
to the best of our knowledge, could you inform him of what these
Uh,
cultists have been up to?
Yes, I can.
He's
make
been
sure.
very, very busy into
It's
investigation.
gonna be like a fucking book worth of information at this point.
Yes,
I write that down somewhere.
Yeah.
He hands a piece of.
Ellerwan. Yeah.
Ellerwan?
Very well. Yes. Well. And by the way, it's like nighttime when you guys are talking. You know. So
It is night, doesn't it?
so
Those
he's
chicken
It's
fingers ears
nighttime.
make it hard to write.
so he's like he says, well, my bird companion and Richard here, they can keep a watch over us tonight as we sleep, and tomorrow morning we will split up. And be careful, though. This area, this part of the mountains, you never know what you can run into. There are plenty of creatures in this part of the kingdom.
Oh, we know. So I suppose we're all just going to bed then, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like go up to Richard and ask him if he wants his rapier back.
He looks at it, and he's like, no, that won't be necessary.
Kinda look at him. Does he still have a weapon on him? He was handing stuff out pretty willy nilly earlier.
Yeah, he has at least a bow on him, and he like points over to a pack that's leaning up against like the tent there, one of the tents, and he's like, I have a weapon. It'll do.
Thank you. Then I'll try and get this back to you as soon as possible.
Yes, and I again, we are trying to avoid combat, whereas you all are probably walking into it, possibly at least.
So we don't teleport into it.
See Anna do this. Ulf is going to take out the short sword that he got from Richard and say, anybody need a sword? Cause I've already got 2. But yeah, I really don't need this. Really just weighing me down.
The kobold could technically use the short sword, right? Yeah.
I mean,
I think kobolds normally use short swords.
They
so I
use
would
daggers. He has a dagger right now, and that's what the default is for kobold sheets. But I mean, they can use whatever.
If no one seems interested, I'd look at Grizzles and be like, "Do you know how to use a sword?"
He's like, I mean, it's just the same as a dagger, right?
I guess it's a large
little bit
dagger.
bigger.
Sure, but you're really gonna trust me with that?
I mean, no.
Are you implying that we shouldn't?
I don't know.
It's a good way to get yourself killed.
If you make a single move during